1 month from today, we will mark the 10th anniversary of the Sandy Hook massacre, which claimed the lives of 20 first graders and 6 teachers at the elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut.
So the memorial is located near the site of the new Sandy Hook Elementary School. The former building was torn down following the shooting. So joining us this morning is Nicole Hockley, who lost her 6-year-old son Dylan in the school shooting and is the co-founder of Sandy Hook Promise, which works to prevent gun violence in schools.
Nicole, thank you for being here this morning to talk more about this.
Thank you for having me.
Nicole, we've talked to you a number of times over the years, but the memorial was open to the public this weekend. Did you get to see the site beforehand? What'd you make of it?
I was able to go on Saturday for a private dedication with other family members. All the family members were invited, the members of the design committee and other community members. And it was the first time that I had seen it. And I have to say it was incredibly touching and very beautiful. They really got everything right about this site.
Yeah, it looks like a beautiful site. Do you know, will there be a public ceremony to mark the 10th anniversary?
No, there will be no public ceremony that I'm aware of. The site is now open to the public, so people can go there and reflect and be thoughtful, but there will be no official ceremony that has been shared with any of us.
So many dedications like this usually have some kind of input from the community or families that were involved. Did any of the Sandy Hook families have any input on the design of the memorial and the symbolism of that one specific tree in the middle?
Yes, absolutely. So there was a committee made of community members, and families were invited to take part. And I believe there were 3 families on that committee. So they were heavily involved in this in terms of helping determine the site and sifting through several hundred designs that were submitted to really determine what would be most appropriate to represent 20 children and 6 adults that had been lost that day and the effects on the community. The sycamore tree itself is a very, very symbolic tree, and it was actually quite beautiful being there Saturday in that it still has green leaves on it, and all the other trees are down. And it's a symbol for regeneration. It's a symbol for strength. It is a very hardy tree that withstands severe punishment and harsh weather. And I think that fortitude of that tree, I think, helps symbolize the community.
Yeah, well, there has been a steady stream of visitors, right, to the memorial site, and everyone is being encouraged to place a flower or a candle in the water. What exactly does that represent?
Well, the water is constantly flowing around the tree, so it's not, it is a fluid and moving site, moving both emotionally and moving physically, and I think that is important if people want to share remembrance. We put down wreaths of flowers with candles in them for each family member. I put Dylan's in the water, and it was actually quite overwhelming, but very beautiful to see his wreath intermingling with the other wreaths of family members that had been lost. There was something quite poetic about that.
Yeah, for sure. And I know, Nicole, like I said, we've spoken to you over the years since Sandy Hook, and the numbers are daunting because there's been more than 100 deadly school shootings since, most recently in St. Louis, and 2 people were killed, several others were injured. I hate to have to even go here, and still, because we're still talking about this, but what do you make of the gun violence problem right now in our country? Do you see it being addressed and getting better? Where are we at?
It has definitely gotten worse in terms of sheer acts of violence and number of people that are killed every single year. However, I think also this is an issue that more of us, this is a huge movement that's grown now, then more people are willing to take part in doing things to prevent it. And I think that's where we're seeing progress. So it's incredibly bad right now. It's a public health epidemic, but there is a lot of will and desire and perseverance to continue to prevent these acts from happening.
Yeah, prevention really is so important. So how is Sandy Hook Promise working to train students to look for those warning signs so this doesn't happen?
Yes, well, we train students and the adults around them across the country in how to recognize signs of someone who might be alone and need help, or who might be at risk of hurting themselves or someone else. And the interventions that we do, the tools that we give youth to really be an upstander and lean in and help someone, that has helped with thousands of mental health interventions, at least 400 suicide interventions that we know of, and we have stopped 11 credible planned school shooting plots. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's only what we can absolutely have data about, but there's a lot more that we've also worked. And I think this is about creating a culture change in terms of how do we help each other? How do we
Yeah.
recognize when someone needs help and lean in and get that person help rather than just think someone else will take care of it?
So important. So important. Nicole, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for once again sharing the mission of Sandy Hook Promise and talking to us about that new memorial.
Thank you.